Welcome to the grand finale of the My Bike Motorcycle Insurance Australian Superbike Championship presented by Motul. We are in sunny South Australia, 100 kilometres southeast of Adelaide at the internationally renowned motorsport circuit, the Bend, for our grand finale of the championship, where we will crown 5 champions across this weekend on the 4.95 kilometre international circuit. I'm Kate Peck, and with me is former World Endurance champ and ASBK champ, Steve Martin. Steve, it's nice to watch some motor racing at a reasonable hour, but what a way to end our championship.
Oh, absolutely. Like everyone at home, I guess we're tired of staying up into the wee hours of the night, so to have some sport in the day, motorcycle sport in the day, is a really good thing. I'm really happy.
Yeah, well, it's been about 6 months since we were in Darwin, so let's catch back up on what happened. Troy Herfoss, now he had a monumental accident that ended him up in 6 months worth of rehab. It's a miracle that he's here this weekend, but give us your insight into that awful crash.
Yeah, I mean, poor Troy. I mean, he was hot. He was hot to trot up in Darwin. He was the man to beat. He won the first race, in fact, and then in the second race, just on the first lap, he came up, went into one of the corners there. Front tyre not quite warm enough, lost the front and went into the airbag, and unfortunately, you know, that was the end of the weekend for him, and a lot of pain. He's still riding here with pain this weekend, but you know, it's going to be good to see him out on the track.
And Desmo Sport Ducati's Mike Jones, Darwin wasn't much kinder to him either.
No, of course, you know, it is a tricky track up there. One lap he caught his toe, broke his toe. The next lap into the hairpin there, he went in just upright, pulled the front brake lever on too hard, and bang, down he went into that hairpin corner there. And unfortunately for him, you know, lost some points, so it was all over for Mike Jones at that point.
Yeah, but the silver lining, Desmo Sport Ducati's Ollie Bayliss, who came away with his first ever win and the youngest for an ASBK rider at the ripe age of 17. Pretty exciting stuff.
Wow, you got to say, I mean, he could have had a double win up there. In the first race, he literally made a mistake, which put him off track, but he put it right in race 2, beating the unstoppable Wayne Maxwell. What a race it was for Ollie Bayliss, giving him lots of confidence, because remember, he's heading overseas next year. This is the last time we're going to see him on Australian soil for a while.
Exactly, which is kind of sad this weekend. But anyway, let's jump into the championship points for the Alpinestars Superbikes. In P1 is Wayne Maxwell with this weekend's pole position. He's sitting pretty with a 26-point lead, aiming to wrap the championship up in race 1. Troy Herfoss on 106 is back to challenge for the title regardless of injury. And Glenn Allerton in P3 moved up the ladder after an excellent performance at Darwin with a brand new M1000RR BMW that is proving to be a beast. Crew Halliday, 88, eyes on how his Dunlops performed this weekend. They won 5 out of 6 races last time, so it's his best chance at glory. Well, let's talk about going around the track, because you did a pretty fast lap before, and we've got your commentary on it. Good one, Steve.
Yamaha loves an anniversary. They had their company's 60th year anniversary a handful of years ago. This year marks their 60th year of racing on the world scene, and to mark that occasion, we've got this brand new colour scheme and a brand new bike in the R7. I was lucky enough to take this brand new R7 for a run around the Tail and Bend circuit. This circuit is amazing. You absolutely wind up down the straight, hitting speeds of over 300 kilometres an hour and getting close to the magical 200 miles an hour. It's long here at Tail and Bend. Hard on the brakes as you get down towards turn 1, the Motul corner. You've got to be careful here. We've already seen some of the guys fall off, including Jack Miller. Tip it into turn 1, back through the gearbox. Quick flick of direction here, keeping the throttle on just mid-corner speed up, and once again flick it to the right. It's blind out of here. You've got to be really careful to make sure you get on the gas smooth and use all of the track on the exit, up through the gearbox, once again not knowing when to tip in to the fast MA corner, turn 5. You've got to keep that rolling speed up, get on the gas hard out of there. You can feel the bike drift into the braking downhill into Alpine Stars. The back of the bike's moving around here. You're on the front. It's a little bit off camber here. Easy to lose the front here too. Now, if you like right-hand corners, this is the place of the track that you're going to like, because it's 3 or 4 in a row here. Keep on the right-hand side. Dive into the next one, which is absolutely critical to get right. You can feel the pressure on the front wheel there. Down the hill we go, through 9 and into 10, Dainese corner. And that's a corner you do not want to lose your leathers because it's fast. We've seen Bayless fall off there before. A quick flick through, again into the left, and then another one onto the right. As you start to wind up onto the short back straight here, it's the only place where you get a little bit of a rest. You can have a bit of a shakedown, down the hill again, but once again, you can see how blind this corner is. Now things get serious and they start to get tight. Hard on the brakes, up the hill we go. You can use that camber to your advantage there. A short spurt, up the hill and into AGV corner. The bumps, it's the only bumpy part on the track is right here. Flick it into the left, once again, off camber, and that's what I like about this circuit. Keep that mid-corner speed on, drive down and through we go. The Alpine Stars area, Ducati corner, then a quick on the gas, flick up over the top of the crest. Blind once again, down the hill into turn 17. Now turn 17, it can catch you out because it's more than 90 degrees. If you're not careful, you'll run off on the outside there. It's time to take a breath though because we're getting to the main part of the circuit now that counts. This last corner here, the Yamaha revs your hard out corner, turn 18. You need to get good speed out here to get that top speed down the straight. Tucked in, over the line you go. There's that finish line and bang. The lap is done at the bend, and what a track it is. Absolutely amazing.
Well, the Superbikes are coming round. They have got one corner to go on their warm-up lap, and then it will be all action in the Alpine Star Superbike class. Steve Martin, let's have a look at the grid. It is Wayne Maxwell that will grid up on pole position. Next to him, Jack Miller on board bike number 43. How good is it to say that? And Daniel Falzon, the local man, on board bike number 25.
What an exciting front row. Arthur Cece's Ollie Bayless and Crew Halliday round out row 2.
Three-time champion Glenn Allenton starts row 3 along with Troy Herfoss and Lachlan Epps on board bike number 83.
Yeah, that was a really good ride by Lachlan Epps. Josh Hook, the international, Aiden Wagner and Anthony West on row 4.
Jed Metzer starts out row 5 along with Mark Kyoto, and good to see Ben Burke back on board his Kawasaki ZX-10.
Luke Johnston, Nathan Spiteri on the BMW, and Jack Davis as well on row 6.
So we're ready to go racing for the Alpine Star Superbike class. Race 1 of 2 this weekend, the championship on the line. Maxwell has a 27-point lead over Troy Herfoss. Superbikes are go. Good start from Wayne Maxwell on board the Boost Mobile Racing with K-Tech machine. Jack Miller hasn't been able to get the standard machine off the line as well as he would have liked. But look at Arthur Cece's charging through Steve Martin. And will he lead them down into turn 1 just as we predicted? No, not quite. He's up into second. Ollie Bayless into third. Miller looked like he was fourth. And Herfoss looked like he also got a cracking start on board bike number 17.
That was an absolute shocker of a start from Miller. He certainly couldn't get that clutch worked out. But Cece's, as we predicted, he was going to be up there somewhere, starting from the second row of the grid, and he's right where he needs to be. Keep an eye on Arthur Cece's because he's been fast in race trim all weekend.
Ollie Bayless up the inside down into Alpine Stars corner. That's a big move on the brakes because Arthur's been very fast into there all weekend. Oh, looks like the fail through. Daniel Falzon, is it that's gone down? No, it's one of the Yamahas. It is Falzon. Falzon's crashed out at Alpine Stars corner.
Oh, unfortunately for Falzon, he didn't get the start he wanted. Just pushed probably perhaps a little bit too cold front tyre there, and he's gone down. Bit off camber there, but meanwhile back at the front, it's Wayne Maxwell right where he wants to be.
Herfoss did a sensational job to get that bike off the line. We've spoken about his injuries. He has got some injuries. He fails to use it as an excuse, but he's charging very hard. He's just behind his teammate, Josh Hook, who's sitting in 5th position on board bike number 5. Here's a replay now. You can see Falzon trying to go down the inside there. Just got it all a little bit wrong on that corner, Steve Martin. You've said it's off camber. It's hard, and you're braking on the side of the tyre for a long time.
And he was too tight on the inside too, so unfortunately for him, it's all over. Well, there's a leading group. That crash caused a bit of a break up there, but Jack Miller's right where he needs to be on the back of that leading group at the moment with Arthur Cece's in third. Now, Arthur and Jack, they know each other on track. They've raced together in the early days in the MotoGP paddock.
And it's also that Arthur is the sole Yamaha in the, spoiling the Ducati party at the front of the field. There's Herfoss. Herfoss is making his way through. He's up into 4th place now. Who said that Troy Herfoss wasn't going to be a feature in this race on board bike number 17? Gritting his teeth like only Troy Herfoss can as Wayne Maxwell comes across the line. A 1:56.1 from a standing start for Wayne Maxwell, 56.7 for Ollie Bayless, and the lead for Maxwell, 0.6 of a second.
And up the inside goes Jack Miller, moves himself into that podium position now with Arthur Cece's right behind him. I don't think Arthur Cece's is going to let that go. There's Glenn Allenton just in front now of the number 17 machine.
Yeah, a few Australian championships in that group. 5 between Troy Herfoss and Glenn Allenton as the multi-time champions battle it out for a 5th position, sorry, just behind Arthur Cece's. But Jackie said that the temperatures come up a little bit, and that was going to be good for his Michelin tyres this weekend, Steve.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's just have a look there. Up the inside goes Jack Miller on the AMX replay. And nice and smooth. That's the way you like to do it. Josh Hook is out. Josh Hook, has it got some sort of electrical gremlin?
Well, remember he crashed that bike this morning. Could be an overhang from that crash. But I'll tell you who's also on a charge. Glenn Allerton on board bike number 14. He's closing in on Ollie Bayliss. No, Ollie Bayliss has got a problem. He's pulling up there, it looks like, on the straight. So whatever it was on the start-finish straight, it's reared its ugly head once again as he pulls over as they come to the end of the start-finish straight.
Well, that could be, yeah, like a hangover of the issue that he had earlier on that we didn't see. So, yeah, poor old Ollie Bayliss. One more race to go this afternoon for him, but it's Wayne Maxwell out front at the moment with a pretty decent lead. 1.1 seconds over Jack Miller. Lap time's pretty similar between the two. 51.5 for Maxwell, 51.6 for Jack.
Yeah, 51.545, the fastest lap of the race from Wayne Maxwell.
And I just want to say that has smashed the lap record of 52.8 from last year. So smashed the lap record.
Let's go down to KP, who's with Josh Hook.
Yeah, Josh Hook, Penrite Honda Racing. What happened out there, my friend? Some electrical gremlins.
Maybe engine. It's disappointing. We got a really good start of the race. We went up 6 spots on the grid, so it's just disappointing for myself and also for the team. We come across a good setting in warm up this morning, which worked really well. Unfortunately, I had a crash, so the boys had a little bit more work to do than expected. But I was feeling good for the short amount of time we were out there. So.
Yeah, it's frustrating. How was the track out there?
It's good. The hotter the better for us. I think as the track temperature comes up, it's going to benefit us. But hopefully we can sort this thing out and get out there for this afternoon.
Yeah, definitely. Good luck with that.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, KP. Great to hear from Josh Hook there. Unfortunately, disappointing circumstances that we were speaking to him, though. Let's hope the team can get it up there, and if anyone can do it, Penrite Honda can. Steve, as Wayne Maxwell continues to lead, his lead is hovering around the 1.2, 1.3 second mark. Let's have a look at the lap times as they come across to complete this lap. A 51.278. Jack Miller, a 51.292. So Maxwell has gone faster again. He's lowered that lap record even further. That is now 1.6 seconds. He's taken off the lap record.
And a 51.4 for Arthur Cece's, the privateer. What a brilliant job by him to hang in there, the local South Australian.
And his first year on a Yamaha YZF R1 as well.
Yeah, so doing a good job out there. But meanwhile, out front, Wayne Maxwell just setting records. I mean, that now, it's 1.6 quicker than last year in the race. That's an impressive lap.
Glenn Allerton in 4th place on board bike number 14, Crew Halliday. Watch him as the laps go on in this race, though, because he is on the Dunlop tyres, and we know that they have a good history here at this Bend Motorsport Park circuit.
Yeah, it's definitely not over yet, is it? I mean, also in the 51s, Glenn Allerton's fastest lap of the race so far, a 51.8, so he's also lapping quite well out there. And yeah, like you say, Crew Halliday and Aiden Wagner. Aiden Wagner was 3rd in the morning warm-up. They can still come forward at the moment. The problem is they've left themselves with too much work to do to have a go at the podium at the moment.
And Jed Metzer inside the top 10 as well on board bike number 3. International people will, of course, know Jed Metzer's name from his time competing in the European Superstock 600 Championship. So good to see Jed on his privateer machine up inside the top 9 as well. As you can see, Jack Miller's bike moving around everywhere. There's no question Jack Miller is giving that bike absolutely everything, and Arthur's doing a sensational job to stay with him.
Look, you've got to remember that Miller has had the least amount of time on that bike, the least amount of time on those tyres. Michelin haven't really been to this circuit before either, so everyone else has already been and tested and had a race under their belt tyre-wise. So, you know, Jack's up against it a little bit, especially when you consider that his bike spec is not, you know, up to the same spec with the electronics as Wayne Maxwell's. We don't care where Jack finishes. We're just so happy that he's racing here this weekend.
I think there's not a person here that is upset with Jack Miller in the way that he's conducted himself this weekend. Has been signing more autographs than you can poke a stick at. Everyone's been coming here to see Jack and also Josh Hook. As Crew Halliday tries to go up the inside of Glenn Allerton, can't quite get it done. Here is the charge starting from Crew Halliday. Just set his fastest lap of the race with a 52.034.
Definitely looking for a way past, isn't he? Allerton closes the line down there as they head on through Pirelli corner up into the MA corner. This is a very exciting part of the track there. It's blind into the Motorcycling Australia corner. You've just got to hold it on. Overtaking opportunity down into there, and there goes Crew Halliday through, and he's run wide. He's gone way too deep there with work to do.
He's actually going to lose another place too.
Well, just not. That's Aiden Wagner. So the teammates on track there. But Aiden Wagner is getting faster as the weekend goes on too. Let's have another look at that. He's just held it on the AMX replay and up the inside. He didn't hold the brake like Daniel Falzon did, though. Falzon went a bit in there too deep and crashed. At least Crew managed to hold it upright. They ran wide, lost ground.
Let's look now at Troy Herfoss, who is still inside the top 10 in position number 9, despite those injuries that he sustained only 5 months ago. Steve, it's been a heroic effort from Troy Herfoss to not only get well, but get fit enough to ride here this weekend. And, well, he's also trying to secure second place in the championship. That will mean that in the last few years, he has only ever finished first or second in the Australian Superbike Championship.
Oh, he absolutely deserves it. And talking about deserving it, look at this guy. He's up for the perfect weekend at the moment. So that Boost Mobile Ducati team, what a job they've done. And Wayne Maxwell is in a very happy place. I bumped into him on Friday and I said, how you going, Wayne? He said, loving life. I think that tells you everything you need to know about Wayne Maxwell at the moment.
Yeah, and what a fantastic crew he's got around him as well. So it must be said, in that privateer Ducati team with great support from Boost Mobile and also K-Tech Suspension here in Australia, doing a sensational job, not only at this round, but all of the rounds so far this year, because Wayne Maxwell has only finished first or second in every race that we've had this year.
Yeah, absolutely. And it looks like Arthur Cece's now is right on the back of Jack Miller.
0.3 of a second faster on the last lap was Arthur. He's starting to close in on his old teammate.
You can see there now the back of Jack's Ducatis on the drive out of the corners is just starting to go sideways a little bit. He's certainly losing drive out there. Arthur's got a bit more drive, so I think Arthur can sniff something right now.
We're about half race distance now. 5.5 laps is half race distance, and we're coming round to complete the 6th lap of the 11-lap journey. Of course, a very long circuit here at the Bend. 18 corners packed into just on 5 kilometres. So there's no time to rest. You can see Jack Miller's bike starting to move around on the brakes as well. Down into my bike, Motorcycle Insurance corner. And Steve, that's one of the trickiest corners on this track that you've ridden this weekend, because it's more than a right angle. It comes back on itself. Yeah,
it certainly is. It can catch you out, that's for sure. You can just see there the Unitech Racing Remo Contractors rider Arthur Cece's getting every bit of drive he can out into the straight. He's also small, but that Yamaha is no match for Jack's bike down the straight. Speed-wise, they're just touching on 300 kilometres an hour. 301 for Miller's bike, 298 for Maxwell. We've got a faller. We've got a faller. Is that Evan Biles that's gone down?
Yep, looks like it could be Fast Ev from SA Motorcycles.
Yeah, let's hope that he's okay there. Looks like he's...
yeah, but Wayne Maxwell, 0.8 of a second faster.
Yeah, no, that's Evan Biles there.
That looks like it could be the exit of the Dane Corner, is it?
Yeah, it's hard to see. It could well be there. Let's just hope that could bring out a red flag. Perhaps let's hope they'll let us know soon. They'll try and clear that accident up. And yeah, unfortunately, there's a red flag in this one. Unfortunately, there's a red flag. Let's hope that Evans are right. You can see him moving around there. He's trying to pull his helmet off, so that's a good thing.
So remembering that Wayne Maxwell came into this race with a 27-point championship lead, so he could very well wrap it up at the end of this first race if he manages to finish ahead of his nearest competitor in the championship, which is Troy Herfoss. Glenn Allerton was 32 points behind Wayne coming into this race. Riders making their way round now to take up their positions on the grid for a 3-lap sprint race after the red flag stoppage, that incident involving Evan Biles. The grid will be Wayne Maxwell will start from pole position with Jack Miller and Arthur Cece's on the first row of the grid. Glenn Allerton, Crew Halliday and Aiden Wagner will be on row 2, and the third row will be Lachlan Epps, Jed Metcher and Troy Herfoss. So keep your eye on Jack Miller. He struggled to get the bike off the line in the first start, and Wayne Maxwell got a great start, but no one starts here like Arthur Cece's, and Arthur is starting from the front row of the grid. So keep your eye on board bike number 61 as well.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what Arthur can do. It's a big moment for him now. 3 laps. We know that he's a hard charger and he's good at the start.
Right, we're ready to go racing for Alpinestars Superbikes. 3-lap sprint race. Maxwell leads the championship. Superbikes are go. Jack Miller's got the bike off the line a lot cleaner this time, but so is Arthur Cece's right right next to him. Arthur's charging down on his privateer Yamaha towards turn 1, but Jack Miller looks like he's got a pretty good run and will very well lead them down in towards turn 1 for the first time. Ben Burr coming up the inside on board bike number 60 has got an unbelievable start and will slot into 5th position as they make their way through the Pirelli corner for the first time.
And what happened to CC's? Oh, look at Jack Miller. Miller's gone through. It's on between these two boys at the moment, and Allerton's right there now. Fantastic. Allerton goes around. Allerton wants this. We heard him say that the man in front, Maxwell's got all the grip in the world. Well, he's about to see. Jack comes from a long way back up the inside, but he runs wide. Allerton slips back through.
Well, Wayne Maxwell's great wish this weekend was to at least put one overtaking manoeuvre on Jack Miller, and he's got it done early on in this race, and he's now trying to sprint away at the front of this field while Jack Miller has his hands full with the 3-time champion Glenn Allerton on board the BMW M1000RR. It's been an impressive couple of rounds for this machine. And Lachlan Epps coming through, it looks like, as well on board bike number 83, also having a bit of a go.
What a fantastic ride by Lachlan Epps, that brand new BMW Alliance team as well. Good to see Lachlan Epps up there. He's been proving it at the weekend, but Jack's in time problems. And talking of problems, after CC's had some sort of problem because he's dead stone last at the moment. He must have run off some sort of issue there for CC's. He'll be kicking himself.
Aiden Wagner having a look up the inside of Jack Miller as well. Obviously, the Dunlops are very strong.
Oh!
No, that's Aiden Wagner getting it all wrong, and it looks like he's taken out Jack Miller as well.
That's not what we needed to see. Jack Miller says it's all okay, but Wagner tried to go up the inside. Unfortunately, it's all over. That is not good. Let's hope that they can get that bike sorted out.
Well, it looks like the Desmo Sport team will have a bit of work to do to try and get that Ducati ready for the second race. But Wayne Maxwell leads. His current lead is 0.6 of a second over Glenn Allerton. We'll see a replay now. He goes Wagner up the inside of Jack Miller. It's into the corner. Jack just has to stand.
He loses the front. He loses the front. Wagner's lost the front, and
Jack had nowhere to go.
Had nowhere to go. Jack was on the outside, and bang, it was all over. It's almost over. We're coming into the last lap after this one. Maxwell's got it sorted out front now. He's just doing everything he needs to do. He's found his groove. Allerton looks like he's set for second, but the battle's on here. Halliday tries to go up the inside. Lachlan Epps has never had a podium in this class before. He's got to hang on for one more lap.
Well, I think Crew Halliday wants to make sure that it's not going to happen today as well. You can see how close the Yamaha is behind the BMW as they come down towards Dunlop corner now. Obviously, the Dunlops on Crew Halliday's machine are working well later in this race.
Well, you've got to imagine that Epps is going to hang on for everything that he's got.
Well, the BMW will probably be a fraction faster than the Yamaha on the straight, but we know how nimble that Yamaha is through the tight section at the beginning of a lap here at the Bend Motorsport Park, Steve.
The Yamaha Dunlop package here is probably the good one to be on, and there he goes up the inside. You can just see there Maxwell going through, and it looks like Allerton's closing down that gap a little bit, but he still can't get through Crew Halliday.
Right, so out onto the straight, they will complete 2 laps, 1 more lap to go. The last lap board will be out for our current race leader, Wayne Maxwell. He's managed to do a 52.3, a 52.4 for Glenn Allerton. The gap is half a second. Lachlan Epps did a 52.8. Crew Halliday's gone ahead now. On the brakes down in towards turn 1, so Crew Halliday on 65 takes up the running in 3rd position.
It's going to be really interesting to see how Lachlan Epps plays this now. Halliday's got a little bit more pace. Falzon's making his way through. Falzon, what an incredible ride from the back of the grid to 6th position at the moment. 52.2 for him. That is faster than Wayne Maxwell out the front.
A strong performance from the factory Yamaha of Crew Halliday, but what about the Yamaha privateers? Arthur Cece's has shown a lot of pace this weekend, but also Daniel Falzon on his privateer machine, and also Jed Metzer on his privateer Yamaha. The Simac entry doing a great job. In this race.
No, absolutely. Looks like it's consolidated now for 3rd place for Crew Halliday. Lachlan Epps has just drifted off the back a little bit, but nevertheless, pretty exciting race for the youngster. 4th, if he finishes there, will be his best ever result. And Halliday, I'll tell you what, this could be his first podium of the year.
It will be, Steve. Yeah, good result for Crew Halliday if he can just keep it upright for the rest of this race. He's starting to pull away consistently from Lachlan Epps. Troy Herfoss soldiering on. He is an Iron Man, Troy Herfoss. He's going to take some good points for 7th position as well, considering those nasty injuries that he's brought into this round. But as I said, he fails to use it as, wants to use it as an excuse. He's out here doing his best.
The issue he's got is he's fending off Glenn Allerton now in a way for 2nd in the championship, because Allerton's not that far behind, is he?
No, he's not. He was coming into this race 6 points, 6 points behind Troy Herfoss, but Wayne Maxwell, he's only got a couple of corners to go. He will wrap up the championship and be crowned the 2021 My Bike Motorcycle Insurance Australian Superbike champion. in the Alpine Star Superbike class. There it is for Wayne Maxwell. He wins the championship. He takes the race win. He's more than a race win ahead of the rest of the field now. Glenn Allerton takes second. Crew Halliday takes third. So congratulations to Wayne, Craig, Adrian, Greg, Julie, and the rest of the Boost Mobile Racing with K-Tech team. That means that Glenn Allerton and Josh Waters and Sean Giles now have another companion in the three-time Australian Superbike champion club, and that is Wayne Maxwell.
And there is Craig McMartin. How happy is he? A double Australian championship in a row for that team. And what a brilliant ride. And Troy Herfoss there to congratulate Maxwell. That's so good to see. What a brave ride he's had this weekend. And humble as well. The two mates shared a coffee. They've had their rough times, those two guys. But nevertheless, you know, they're just good mates. But this is all about Wayne Maxwell. What a brilliant rider he is.
He is, and he deserves that 3 times championship tag as well. But the other thing was Troy Herfoss, his great rival, over there to congratulate him, along with Nathan Spiteri on the 78 machine, the long-time supporter and companion of Wayne Maxwell, and doing a great job on board that BMW for his first outing this weekend as well. Yeah,
absolutely. Good result there. But on goes the spoils of victory. What a beautiful gold helmet that is. And I hope he wears that, changes the screen, but I hope he wears that in the next race.
So he's about to put the championship shirt on. Congratulations once again to the Boost Mobile Racing with K-Tech team. They took the championship and they took it in style with a race win, 0.9 of a second faster than Glenn Allerton, who took second place, and another podium. That's his third in a row now in the championship. Crew Halliday onto the podium for the first time this year on board bike number 65. Lachlan Eppes in fourth. Daniel Falzon got back to fifth place after crashing early. Jed Metzer in sixth. Troy Herfoss in seventh. Ben Burke in eighth. Luke Johnson in ninth. And Nathan Spiteri rounds out the top 10.
11th was Jack Davis, a good result for the local there. Mark Kyoto back in 12th on the number 2 machine. Michael Edwards in 13th. Arthur Cece's didn't finish as the rest of the group there. Jack Miller and obviously Aiden Wagner came together. But there he is, Wayne Maxwell on that victory lap. This is the best lap that he will ever do at this Bend Motorsport Park.
Now it's time to head down to the podium with KP on the AMX Superstores podium with our champion, Wayne Maxwell.
From Boost Mobile with K-Tech. Congratulations, my friend. You are the first back-to-back ASBK champ since Jamie Stouffer's 2006, 2007. That must feel really good.
Do you go bald when you go back to back like Jamie did,
we'll have to ask.
Do you just keep your hair? I don't know if it's worth it. Look, yeah, honestly, it's so special. The guys are here. It just, I mean, everyone in the team just contributes like this. They organise all of this. They give me the best motorbike on the grid. The Ducati V4R has been amazing. The whole Boost Mobile with K-Tech team, it's made up of a lot of different areas. I've said in the past, guys, the truck's in Melbourne. It doesn't really work, but the guys make it work just so we can win races. So I can't thank them enough. My family.
Yes.
My wife.
Archie and Billy, are they around?
My kids, they go without just so I can do this. My wife, it's for me, it's very emotional, and yeah, I'm so happy to be able to do it with this group of people, because I've always said it, they believe in me more than I believe in myself, and they've given me the confidence to believe in myself, and that's what shows.
Are we going to see you go around again?
I don't know. Yeah, I'm unsure at this stage, but yeah, I've just had, like, honestly, I actually really enjoyed this weekend. After Darwin, I didn't really like it. Before then, it was like all too hard and stressful. It's not meant to be like that. It's meant to be fun. From when you start, that's why you do it, is because it's fun. And yeah, that was fun.
Oh, well, it's so good. Congratulations, Wayne. A big round of applause for the Wayne train, who absolutely dominated.
Well, while international racing is finished overseas for the motorcycle scene, you'd think that everybody would be on holidays, but not here at Tail and Bend. We've got a couple of guys, Josh Hook and this guy over here, who needs no introduction, Jack Miller, have decided to come on holidays here. Josh, what are you doing?
That's exactly right, Steve. We are on holidays, and there's nothing more than we would much prefer to do than come to the track and race. So it's been quite some time since I've raced the Australian Superbike Championship, and I was lucky enough that Dion and Penrite Honda were able to do us up a bike for this weekend and be able to come here and have a ride.
So you've had a pretty interesting career. You've raced the e-bikes, world champion in the world endurance. You've done a lot of stuff. I mean, what's it like being world endurance champion in that series?
Yeah, amazing. Obviously, that's a rider's dream to win the championship that he's racing in at the time. So, unfortunately, I've had 2 more cracks at it and haven't got the job done. So, next year again, we'll be there with Honda doing the same thing, and the goal is the championship.
Now, Jack, surely if anyone should be having a holiday, it should be you.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you know, Hookie, he does those 5 races a year and stuff like that, whereas, you know, we got a busy schedule. So, I mean, as soon as Hookie said with Troy being injured and there was talks of around being in December, light bulbs went off in my head. I was thinking, how can I get a bike? You know, I started looking on Facebook, on Facebook Marketplace.
Yeah.
Started looking on there, started looking on bike sales, trying to find wherever I could get a V4. I put the feelers out with Ducati, but they said we haven't got any in the country at all. And so then I sort of put a word out to TB, and TB put me in touch. Well, basically said, yeah, we got a bike, and he put me in touch with Benny, and then basically it went on from there. And I think I might have called Benny, my old mate Benny there, and gave him a say. Hookie might have helped me, to be honest. And then, you know, there was a lot of hurdles to jump through to be able to do this, you know, with the factory contracts and stuff like that. But it wasn't too stressful, you know, like I said to them and like I said to everybody, I love racing motorbikes. That's what I love doing, and there's nothing better than coming back and sort of taking a step back and just enjoying a weekend with the boys, you know. My mechanics have never seen a road bike before. Franco does all my motocross bikes and stuff like that, and you know, he's a great mechanic, but he's never worked on a road bike before in his life. So it's just a weekend away with the boys, and I mean, they're throwing in the deep end. We ran out of fuel this morning, but we're still going.
Well, both of you guys, I mean, I just want to thank you from the bottom of our hearts here, all of the fans, whatever happens on the weekend. It's just been fantastic to have you here.
Here we go. What are you doing? What do you want?
But guys and girls, you're missing a seat for me.
Ollie, you need to come back next year, right?
Next year, is it?
I should be in this. I'm
Not yet.
An international rider.
Not yet, champ.
No,
Just give it a
mid-January
bit.
I'm there.
You been overseas yet?
Look, it's mid-January somewhere.
COVID, isn't it?
Somewhere, so
COVID stopped you.
I'm coming, boys.
There we go.
Cheers,
Take it from
Cheers,
me,
boys.
we're going to see that guy next year.
So we're just getting ready now to go racing for the final Alpine Stars Superbike race of the year. Wayne Maxwell, the champion who won it in the last race, will start from pole position with Jack Miller, Daniel Falzon joining him on the front row of the grid. After CC's Ollie Bayliss and Crew Halliday will start out of row 2.
Row 3's Glenn Allerton, Troy Herfoss and Lachlan Epps, and what a ride he had last time out.
He did. I think it was his best place ever finish in an Australian Superbike Championship race. Row 4 will be Josh Hook, Aiden Wagner and also Ant West, who was on the warm-up lap because he had a mechanical problem that prevented him from riding in race number 1.
Mecha, Kyoto and Burke are the next row. Johnson, Spiteri and Davis round out your field. Well, this is it, Phil, the last one of the year.
Right, hopefully we can get the full 10 laps in here without any further incidents. Wayne Maxwell taking up his position on the front row of the grid. He has been crowned champion, and now he can let it off the chain, so to speak, in this final race of the year. The battle is on, though, for second place in the championship between Glenn Allerton and Troy Herfoss. Ready to go racing for Alpine Star Superbike. Superbikes are go. Good start once again from Wayne Maxwell. Jack Miller hasn't got it off the line as well. Looks like a cracking start also too for Ollie Bayliss and Glenn Allerton as they make their way down towards turn 1. There is no Troy Herfoss out there on the grid either on board bike number 17. So as they tip into turn 1, it is the 2 Ducatis, then the BMW, then Jack Miller in 4th place as they make their way through Pirelli corner turn 2 for the first time.
Ollie Bayliss leads it from Maxwell with Allerton behind, Miller with work to do, a lot of work to do. There's Benny Burke as well. What a good job he's done. Crew Halliday, not a bad start up in the 5th position, but it is Ollie Bayliss. Wouldn't he love to win this one? He did beat Wayne Maxwell in Darwin in the second race of the day, and I'm sure he's got plans to do that again.
So it is Bayliss that leads from Maxwell. Allerton in there in 3rd position as well. 4th place is Jack Miller as they make their way down through the Yamaha Revs Your Heart corner. This is where they stay on the right-hand side of the tyre for a long time. Unfortunately, there's Daniel Falzon stricken. Caterpillar Yamaha being wheeled back to the pits.
Yep, and he's made up a lot of ground as Miller, that's for sure. He had such a shocking start. And look at that through there. Miller's closed that gap right up. He's pretty quick through that part of the track. But it is Ollie Bayliss now leading out front with Maxwell in 2nd.
carrying a lot of corner speed, Jack Miller, through that area of the track. Right behind him is Crew Halliday, not losing anything. Bayliss has run wide, Maxwell up the inside. Gone into the lead now has Wayne Maxwell. Glenn Allerton trying to find a way into second place as well. Can't quite do it.
Allerton's up the inside.
Yeah, Ollie's run a fraction wide again, and Allerton said, thank you very much, I'll go up there. So it is 2 three-time champions at the head of this field as they make their way down towards My Bike Motorcycle Insurance Corner for the first time.
Well, we're about to find out how fast that BMW is, because it's going to be in a trio of Ducatis heading down the straight for the first time, but Maxwell is where he likes to be, out front.
And we know that they're fast. Jack Miller regularly getting over 300 kilometres an hour on that bike that is pretty standard, like it rolls off the showroom floor as we get out onto the motorbike. My Bike Motorcycle Insurance straight now. It is still Wayne Maxwell that leads. Allerton sitting in the slipstream. Bayliss, well, he's dropped back a fraction. Miller, look how deep he is on the brakes. The bike's starting to move around everywhere as he goes up the inside of Ollie to take up the running in third position on board that Caterpillar Ducati.
He's doing a fantastic job out there, and I'll tell you what, he's pulled the 2 guys in front in. Maxwell's not getting away this time. Maxwell, 56.5. That's a pretty quick first lap. Times are going to be quick this time out.
I think that's pretty similar to what he did in the first race.
It was. Super quick. There would be people, I mean, I would be happy if I could do a 56 on a flying lap, not a standing start.
So Ollie Bayliss has run a fraction wide again in Alpine Stars corner. That's not the first person to run wide there this weekend. He tries to get the drive out, and he's also got, Ollie Bayliss has got a Crew Halliday trying to track him down from behind. You can just see Crew's bright yellow helmet on the blue Yamaha closing in now on board bike number 32.
Allerton's doing a good job, you know. He's actually really hanging on to the back of Maxwell out front. Yeah, and as you say, Halliday's there too. But look at the BMW man. He's looking good there in second position. It's been a long time for Allerton since he injured himself a few years ago. He hasn't really come back, but he's on the warpath now, isn't he?
Remember last year at the end of the season, he finished it off with 2 podiums.
He's going for it. Oh, he's looking for
as well.
He's looking for a way past.
And he also was on the podium in both races at Darwin. So it's 3 podiums in 3 races for Glenn Allerton. Now he wants to go to the top step.
Well, he's back. I mean, you've got to say he's back at the moment. He's looking tighter than Maxwell as well.
So down into My Bike corner they come. It is still Maxwell that leads. Look how smooth those bikes look over the little bumpy areas into the track. Remember how out of control the Supersport 300s look? These bikes look far more composed.
Well, the tyres on these bikes cost more than the whole bikes in the little bikes, if you know what I mean. Like,
and the suspension as well.
Absolutely. There's been a lot more development on these bikes, and you can change a lot more things. And when you do that, it does make the difference. Miller's closing that gap down again. Allerton there. Bayliss just drifting off a little in the background.
Speaking of drifting, I love the way that Jack Miller just is able to drift that bike into turn 1 very hard on the brakes there. He's got the foot out. He's certainly leaving nothing in the bank when he comes down there into turn 1. He is as deep and late on the brakes as you can get. And he's also fast through those first couple of corners too, how they string together in succession. He was actually teaching Ollie, or saying to Ollie, this is how I'm attacking it, so that Ollie could actually try and get through there a little bit quicker.
Ollie Bayliss seems to have settled down a little bit now. It's good to see. Had a rough couple of first laps. He's had a lot of trouble this weekend as Ollie Bayliss, which hasn't really helped him move forward smoothly. So he's doing a really good job there.
And he will be riding the Panigale V2 tomorrow, the bike that he'll be riding in the World Supersport Championship for Barney Racing here tomorrow.
Yeah, it'd be good to be here to see that, see how he wraps his head around it. Jack Miller once again there on screen.
Well, we just saw Troy Herfoss down there in pit lane. He's got company now because KP's waiting to find out what's the story with Troy Herfoss.
Yes, exactly, Troy. I don't think you told anybody that you weren't going out there for this race.
No, I didn't. What's the point, really?
So tell us why you're not out there. How's the body feeling? How did you pull up from the rest of the riding?
Yeah, obviously I'm not out there because it's really painful to ride. But yeah, other than the pain, it's almost a bit dangerous feeling because I'm so weak. So, for example, when I got out there in the start of the race then with other riders and tried to follow, I couldn't stop and I went off the track at 200k an hour and into the dirt, and physically it's just very hard for me. And yeah, I wish I was out there, but you know, I tried and I wasn't strong enough.
It was a Herculean effort, as Phil has been saying many, many times, because the injuries you're recovering from, I mean, it should have taken you months to get back out there, yet you're still out there and putting in the effort because you are such a true racer.
Yeah, I'm really proud of the fact that I'm out there. It's been 13 or so weeks since my femur was redone, and it's too early, and I wasn't advised to do it, so that's part of the reason why for race 2 I'm not out there. Like, yeah, I could have rode the bike, but you just gotta know when to hold them sometimes.
I think you dodged a bullet anyway with that last race. Thanks for chatting, Troy. You rest up.
When I seen that first start, I was like, okay, the guy behind me took out the guy in front of me.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty happy to be on the sideline.
Yeah, I think you made the right choice there, Troy. All right, back to you, Stephen Phil.
Thanks very much, Kate. Yeah, great to hear from Troy Herfoss, and probably in hindsight, Steve, a wise decision. He probably wouldn't have finished ahead of Glenn Allerton the way that Glenn Allerton's riding at the moment, so no change to the result. That Glenn Allerton will go up to second in the championship, and Troy Herfoss will remain in third, especially if it is where Crew Halliday finishes now, because he'll finish on 122 points. That actually could be just enough if he can stay there to finish third place in the championship.
Yeah, well, because I think Herfoss
Troy's on
has got
120.
120, so yeah, I honestly, I don't think second or third or fourth matters to Herfoss. He only knows one number, and that's number 1. So he'll be back next year, strong as ever. He just, this has been good for him to do, this meeting, in my mind. He's got he's had a bit of a shakedown. That's what this weekend's all been about. And, he knows that he can do the pace. So when he gets strong again, he'll be as fast as ever.
Luke Johnson on board bike number 16, and Ben Burke, he probably wouldn't like being called a veteran, but he's one of the most experienced riders out there in the field, and having a wildcard ride this weekend. Hasn't been in the rest of the rounds of the championship, but it's great to see Benny Burke back.
Yeah, he's getting faster and faster too, as Benny Burke. Some pretty decent times for him. 55.5, that's a good time for Ben. It's almost as quick as his qualifying, I think, from memory. So, first time back for a long time, good to see.
Also too, that remembering that Jack Miller sitting in third place hasn't actually ridden this bike at any stage this weekend, because the one bike that he had that he was riding all weekend is the bike that was damaged in the crash earlier on this morning. So he's managed to get out there on Ben Henry's other bike, which he wouldn't have sampled at any stage during this weekend. And yes, they're the same motorcycle, Steve, but they always feel different, don't they? And you probably know that better than anyone else.
Yeah, it's true. They do feel different. Like the settings, the shocks would have been, everything would have been different. The whole thing's, although it looks like a Ducati, it's a completely different animal to what Jack's used to. So, he's done really well to do what he's done. I mean, everyone imagines, it's Jack Miller, MotoGP, probably should win. Well, not that easy. If Jack was here with all the setup and did some testing, well, I don't think anyone would see which way he went. But, to do what he's done here this weekend, it's fantastic.
So it is still Maxwell that leads. The current lead is 2.7 seconds over Glenn Allerton. And Jack Miller in third is another 2.2 seconds behind Glenn Allerton. Then it is Crew Halliday in fourth place. As we said, we'll move up into a third place in the championship. Ollie Bayliss is in fifth on board bike number 32 in his final ASBK race before he heads overseas to the World Supersport Championship next year in 2021. So he'll lose 2 cylinders, but he'll still be on a red bike.
He certainly will be, and it's going to be a massive experience for him to head over there. Tracks he doesn't know, new team, the Barney Ducati racing teams. It's a good team. He's got good people around him. Obviously, Troy Bayliss will be going over with him, his dad. They're staying with Davide Tadozzi in the Ravenna area. So, he's going to have it all his own way. It'll be a good lifestyle, but there'll be a lot of pressure on him to perform, that's for sure.
Unfortunately, Ant West has entered the pits on board bike number 13, so a weekend of bad luck once again for poor old Ant West. Let's hope we see him back in the championship in 2022 as well.
Yeah, in saying that, he has been making his way forward, you know what I mean? Like, he's been improving all the time, so it's just a new team there as well. They just need to iron out a few bugs, and then before you know it, they'll be right. Ollie Bayliss, you can just hear that traction control cutting in there on the V4R. A lot of sliding and moving around. He's really working that bike to the limit. You can just see, look at the suspension working there, Phil.
Yeah,
look at it.
Suspension is working absolute overtime, and so's that Pirelli rear slick as well. Looks like it's copying an absolute hammering as he comes across the top of that hill.
No, not
down
as,
into the dip.
Not as smooth as Maxwell's style, that's for sure.
No, and as we said before though too, Wayne Maxwell, since he's been training on the Avalis that we saw some footage of earlier on, He was always economical with his body movements on the motorcycle, Wayne Maxwell. Now he's even more economical. He hardly moves around the bike at all, but he's, if anything, got faster and faster. And, you know, it's well known that Wayne Maxwell doesn't hang off the side of his bike. Have a look at his knee sliders. They actually look brand new every time you see them because he very rarely gets his knee down.
So you're saying if I buy an Ovale, I can ride like Wayne Maxwell?
There is more chance of you riding like Wayne Maxwell if you buy an Ovale than if you don't buy an Ovale.
Well, that is true.
I think your son wants you to buy an Ovale too, Steve, just quietly.
Well, I'm sure he does.
We're looking at Aiden Wagner now, the Queenslander that unfortunately was involved in that crash with Jack Miller in the first race. He's having a bit of a lonely ride in this one, currently circulating around in 6th position. A bit of a gap to Aiden, to Ollie Bayliss in front of him, and also Jed Metcher behind him.
Yeah, it'd be good to see Jed Metcher's new team next year, a two-bike squad. I'm not sure who the other rider is. Do you know, or is it a secret?
No, I don't think it's been announced yet, but apparently Jed was saying it should be announced in the next week or two, so we'll know more about the expansion of that team and the relocation to Queensland. But we know that there are several riders stepping up to the Superbike class next year. 2 young, exciting prospects. Our Motorsports TV champion Brock Pearson and also young Max Stouffer, who it's been confirmed this weekend will be riding a Yamaha Superbike next year in the Alpine Star Superbike class.
Well, then it's probably one of those 2 guys.
Well, we know that Max will be riding for GTR Motorstars team, the team that he rides for now. So they're building the bike for him. So that will be another privateer Yamaha team on the grid.
Maxwell is just incredible. 51.5 lap after lap. So quick. He's got a 3.5 second lead now over Glenn Allerton. He's just smashing the opposition.
But he has done a Jorge Lorenzo effort here this weekend, hasn't he? His lap times have differed by hardly anything from lap to lap to lap. And his fastest lap in this race was a 150.972, a new lap record. That was actually his slowest lap apart from the standing lap, but was a 51.740. That was still faster than anyone else out there on track.
Yeah, he's doing a good job, but I just noticed in the background there that Jack Miller is coming under a little bit of pressure from Crew Halliday on this last lap.
So Maxwell through Alpine Stars corner for the final time. There is 18 corners on this just about 5 kilometre Bend National Circuit. Glenn Allerton has done a fantastic job to get around all of them this weekend. As there you can see Crew Halliday closing in on Jack Miller. Still got a fair bit of work to do to try and catch up that in the remaining corners. Yes. So great to see Jack Miller racing here in the ASBK Championship, and also to come back from that crash in the earlier race to make the final race of the day.
Yeah, absolutely. He's holding it all together. I don't know. It's looking pretty close to me.
I think Crew's found a little bit in the second half of this lap. You can see there how much power he was putting to the tarmac through that Dunlop rear slick.
Yeah, Glenn Allerton there, pretty safe second at the moment. He's looking pretty good, but I mean, this race, no matter what happens, is all about you know, Wayne Maxwell. What a rider! What an inspiration he's been throughout his career. Let's hope he does come back. But boy, he's been around for a while. Crashed a bit at the start of his career, but right now he's incredible. Jack Miller, it's so close between these 2 guys now.
So Miller trying desperately to hang on to that last podium position. Crew Halliday would love nothing more than to be able to draft him to the line. As they come out, it is Maxwell that crosses the line, takes another victory. Glenn Allerton takes his best result of the year, and Jack Miller just holds on to 3rd ahead of Crew Halliday, who had a last lap charge towards bike number 43 but couldn't quite get there. Congratulations once again to Wayne Maxwell, the 2021 Alpine Star Superbike champion, and also to Glenn Allerton, who will now take 2nd place in the championship, and Crew Halliday will be 3rd in the championship overall. If you had have told Crew that he would be 3rd in the championship at the end of the season, he would have probably thought that you were maybe going a little crazy.
Yeah, maybe, but he has ridden well, but...
and he's been consistent across every race too.
Yeah, I mean, you've got to say, what a legend though. Wayne Maxwell, double win, perfect. Did he make a mistake this weekend? No, not one mistake in the whole weekend. Absolutely incredible stuff.
Well, he took the final victory of the year, 2 from 2 today. Glenn Allerton 3.8 seconds behind in 2nd. Jack Miller rounds out the podium on bike number 43. Great to see him here this weekend. Crew Halliday in 4th. Ollie Bayliss takes 5th in his final ASBK race before heading off overseas. Aiden Wagner, Arthur CC's Jed Metcher, Mark Kyoto and Luke Johnson round out the top 10.
And there's Jack Miller doing a motocross style lap around the circuit, saying goodbye to the fans.
Jack Miller doing Jack Miller things.
Exactly, and that's what we like to see.
And we we just had the most intense Alpinestars Superbike race I think I've ever seen. Race 2, and guess who came in P3? The one and only Ducati rider, Jack Miller.
Thank you.
Now, you got to tell me, is this as good as a MotoGP podium?
Oh, man, it's pretty bloody good. I'm not going to complain, that's for certain. But no, especially, you know, with the dramas we've been having, with the crew I put together, I think we can be pretty happy with that result. But no, I thank Benny and the boys, Frank, all of them for putting everything on, and you know, the boys for the good competition. They really rode good today. So you know, I had my tongue hanging out at the back there after the start, nearly backflipping, and I'm sure you guys at home had great entertainment off that. But I don't know what's going on. I'm normally pretty good at starts, but this thing, I'm trying to take off like I'm at a traffic lights and it won't work. I haven't got a launch control, so no, it was a lot of fun. Yeah, thanks to everyone for coming out. I mean, look at this. It's awesome to see ASBK like this. It's great.
And will we see you again? Is this going to happen again? What do we think, everybody?
For sure. If it fits, I'll be back for sure. You know, I love racing motorcycles. That's the whole reason we're here this week. And no, for sure, I'd love to come back and do it again. So let's talk a summer series, maybe.
Yeah, all right. Thank you so much, Jack. It's a true honour to have you here. And in second place, Glenn Allerton from Maximum Racing Oils. Congratulations. You've had a pretty good weekend.
Yeah, not too bad. Whenever you can say you beat Jack Miller, it's a pretty good weekend, so I'll take it. Twice. The first one didn't count. So, yeah, big thanks to my team, Maximum Oils, Racing, BMW. They've worked their guts out to get here, and, you know, the package is getting better and better. As we've seen in that race, we progressed a lot with the bike, so only onwards and upwards from here. And just want to thank all the crowd today for coming out. It's awesome to have so many people here watching us all the way around the track, so thanks, guys.
Yeah, excellent stuff. Well done. And the three-time ASBK champ, Wade Maxwell, who's pretty much made this position, P1, your home place.
Yeah, what a day. Thank you. Yeah, amazing day. Big massive thanks to Boost Mobile and with K-Tech crew. Awesome job. Pirelli, they've just come out this weekend with a product that's just worked. You need a little bit of luck to win, and it went our way this weekend. So look, we're very thankful. My whole crew, so Craig, Adrian, Greg, Dale, Julie, the Horners, as Barry and Ken, everyone that contributes any little bit along the way. All of our partners, they've been amazing. Like I can't say, like, without all their little help. I've got so many of my sponsors and supporters here today. Yeah, it's been so good. So, you know, obviously during the break we rode the Ovalis a fair bit of that, and yeah, now the rewards paid off. So best training tool, and yeah, I'm super stoked to be able to win this, and I can't.
We'll see you next year.
And I cannot wait to have a beer. So
yes, you go and enjoy that beer.
Thank you. Thanks so much, everyone.
Really well deserved. A big congratulations to Boost Mobile, K-Tech's Wayne Maxwell in P1, Glenn Allerton in P2, and Jack Miller in P3. So that wraps a really, really massive weekend of racing for the 2021 My Bike Motorcycle Insurance Australian Superbike Championship. We have seen it all, but it's great to end on a high, and thank you for having me on board to host the coverage this year. I cannot wait to maybe join you again next year, but either way, we're going to go racing, and I cannot wait. So we'll see you next time. Have a great Christmas.